Hello, Pastor Deborah here of Agape Love. Love is here. And this is another word of encouragement. And I want to bring you several things so your heart can be encouraged. Listen, I'm going to probably look at my paper a little bit. Haven't quite memorized this. Yes, everybody is welcome to come and sit and just listen. All my words of encouragement are in the garden. This is a prayer that I pray a lot to help people find something that they cannot find. It's based on the Hebrew Bible, Old Testament, Isaiah 62, verse 10. Send forth, Father, your spiritual presence to spiritually go through. To spiritually go through the demonic spiritual gates of this walled city, of this spiritual Jericho. Their heart, their spiritual heart and mind, and spiritually prepare your spiritual way for these precious spiritual hearts of these precious people who have come, who are listening. They have been trapped, Father, behind walls, behind foreskins, in the darkness, with locked doors. They've been locked in cities and territories and land by religion, by ignorance, by culture, by ancestors, by traditions, locked tightly to their soul, married and one with it. And the soul is as the ancient and mighty Jericho. Father, come and spiritually destroy the spiritual walls that are guarding your entry into their spiritual heart. Father, as in the days of old, send forth your power to spiritually bring down these fortified spiritual walls of Jericho, so that your agape love can spiritually walk right in. Spiritually throw up, cast up your highway of holiness. Show it to them, Father. Let it come out of the kingdom. Let the veil be pulled back that they may see it. Spiritually gather up the demonic spiritual stones that spiritually cause these precious spiritual little ones to spiritually stumble and fall, and thus they cannot make it to your highway of holiness. Father, spiritually raise up your spiritual standard, your banner, your flag of your majestic, powerful agape love, for the spiritual hearts to see and follow, so they can get to your highway of holiness. Spiritually light the spiritual way for them, Lord. For let them see your sweet spiritual light, your presence, as rays of gentle light shining out for them to see the way. Spiritually help them, Father, for they spiritually cannot do this by themselves. Make a spiritual way for them. Spiritually bind and tie up everything of Satan and his demons that would spiritually stop them from spiritually coming into your wonderful spiritual presence. Then, Father, spiritually pour out your Spirit upon the words that I speak, even now. And spiritually come and speak to them yourself. Spiritually, let there be a spiritual open heaven that I and you can spiritually do your ministry for your glory behind the burqas, in the prison camps of the ISIS, off in the caves of the Taliban, off in the land of China, in the governments, in Afghanistan, over in Turkey, down in Argentina and Venezuela. Take us, Lord, deep, deep to great darkness. Then open up the doorway and clear the way for them, that they may see you. Father, touch them spiritually in powerful spiritual ways that they've never spiritually felt before. Spiritually bring down your blanket of glory. Bring spiritual deliverance as your presence touches them, and freedom and healing to these spiritual ones who'd been slaves all their lives, living in darkness and ignorance, serving a master out of fear, out of terror. Let their seed come, their children, and let them be spiritually reconnected and birthed anew out of your agape love, so that they may become, enter into your family, and that these lost ones that have been far off from us may come home and be welcomed, for we love them so much, Father. Let the land that had been held by Satan and in darkness and ignorance and chains be washed clean by your agape love. And let new land and new seeds be planted, and new trees and ideas and concepts begin to grow. Let your spiritual will and your love for them be known. Let them hear your voice, Father, clearly, and that they know without a shadow of a doubt that it is you. For this is your work, Father. This is your spiritual deliverance. It's your freedom and your healing. They have been coming. They are gathered by the multitudes. They are here. Do your work, Father. Amen. Now I want to read to you a quick little poem that was given to me by this father of agape love, so you will know a little bit more. It was inspired by him, written by him, and it came out through my hands. So this is him talking to you. Heart to heart, inspired by the Heavenly Father himself, 2003. Boy, that was a long time ago. The long, cold winter is over. The wind of my spirit is blowing. The spiritual golden rain comes from the spiritual, ever-flowing river of life. The spiritual warmth of my Son, my agape love, my image and my likeness, my very heart, covers the spiritual land of your heart with hope. And a dry and desolate land of hopelessness a land of your spiritual heart has become a spiritual garden of my Eden, of my presence and pleasure, filled with my agape love. The spiritual soil of your heart, your spirit, is rich now in mercy and compassion, for I have planted the seeds. Spiritual nutrients of love and forgiveness will fill the land where there was only dry wilderness, shriveled plants and trees, stones, no life. Spiritual seeds I have planted now of love, joy, and peace and righteousness are there now. And I will water them with my own agape love. They're planted deep now in your heart, and they will begin to grow and take root. And I will protect them, so that when the winds and the fire and the torture and abuse and the fear comes, my seeds will not be uprooted. Your spiritual heart now is becoming full of agape love and hope. You may have tears. Don't know why you cry. You will feel like I finally am loved beyond this earth. Found a God that loves you. You don't have to do anything but let him love you. Be a child and be in his arms, and let him feed you with his agape love. Don't have to pray 6 times a day. You don't have to bow down and worship him. You don't have to feed him with earthly food. You don't have to do anything. He did it all. He says, just come. Let me love you. Let me touch you and fill your hearts with the unknown love that you've never known. Let me fill that heart that's been living in fear. Can't hear my voice. I've searched for you. I've looked in every cavern, under every veil. I've gone to the mosque and the synagogues. I've gone to the high places where you worship at a tree. I've gone to the Bohemian Grove and watched you bow down to the owl. I've gone to the halls of Congress and your politicians. I've gone to your hospitals and your camps and your refugee camps. I've gone to the AIDS hospitals looking and seeking for hearts that would want to be touched, would take a chance, reach out with whatever they had to let me touch them with a love that they do not know. Heart to heart, we will become one. Now come into my spiritual Garden of Eden. It is here on the planet. Pastor Deborah, as you know, this is him talking to you. She is my shepherd of it. She guards it and protects it, and you'll meet her there. All are welcomed, except a few. We don't want those things that have imprisoned you and oppressed you. But all humanity is welcomed. This is the spiritual place of my spiritual presence, where my glory blankets the land, where there's living creatures, living water, flowers that are singing, animals that talk to us, teaching, healing, restoration. My son is there. He's always teaching. It's a spiritual place on earth full of my righteousness and overflowing with peace. It's the spiritual place, the very presence on earth, and my pleasure and delight, where I want to be with you, where we can walk and talk, and nothing separates us. Everyone is spiritually welcomed. I have tables, banquets ready. I have a flaming cherub. He'll show you the way in. You might get met by Wilbur. Follow the bluebirds, wish upon a star. It's sort of like a land called Never Never Land. It's where Judy Garland sang Over the Rainbow, where your troubles melt like lemon drops. It's where I'm at. My garden. The door is always opened. We are in it now. When you watch this, you will hear me, Agape Love, speaking to you through Pastor Deborah. And you will feel something you've never felt before. I have set a table at the banquet hall for you. I have your robes, your crowns for the state dinner. Everything is prepared. Your name is on your table setting. All of creation is waiting to meet you. So come. Come into the secret Garden of Eden. Most of the time the way will be hidden. But if your heart is seeking, it will open. My trusted servant, Pastor Deborah, is there every night, most of the time. I come, my son is there. Lots of people you know. It's like going to Narnia. It's like being in a dream. But come. I'll keep the lights on for you. The highway of holiness will lead you there. Sometimes I have to send Pastor Deborah down into a place called hell and go find you. But I will not leave you alone. One of my kings named David said, doesn't matter where I go. If I go to prison, you're there. If I go to hell, you're there. We're not going to leave you. We will come. We will be sent. So be encouraged today. Be filled with hope. There are people that love you. Deep, deep. And we can get to you in the refugee camps. Pastor Deborah can walk among you. She'll probably be wearing some kind of black hijab, but it will sparkle. You will know and you'll see her. She will manifest in the natural for you. She has that ability to do that. She might show up in the ISIS things and then disappear. She can go to prisons. She can go to hospitals. She can go to schools. She's going out into where Boko Haram has kept and kidnapped those young girls. Believe it or not, this will be a wild one for you to believe. I have sent Pastor Deborah inside the wombs of women to lay hands on the babies before they were aborted, to dedicate them to me, to take their spirits out. That's the power of Agape Love has. And it will go the distance to find you, to reach you, no matter where you are spiritually. My love went to a cross. Paid a price. Because you are valuable. Don't believe anything anybody says that you are just nothing. You are so valuable to me and the family, the kingdom. And I will recreate you in my image and after my likeness. Then you will grow. Become as Pastor Deborah. So enjoy these words of encouragement. This is Pastor Deborah again. From the Father of Agape Love himself. He invites you to come and meet him. Get to know him. Learn about him through Agape Love Ministries. So this is the biggest word of encouragement. and a royal invitation to come home. Come back, come into the kingdom, and learn that you too are a mighty king. You're a mighty one, royalty and majesty, made. Then you fell. Got all distorted. Looked more like Satan, icky stuff. But you can be recreated, reconnected. Some of you have heard my V'ger story. Become a new life form. So enjoy these words of encouragement. I've been at the flea market today, I just put up another audio part of the audiobook. Hopefully I'll get to do some more webcamming later, but this is just a word of encouragement to you. Look forward to seeing you. I'll see you in the garden. You may come anytime you want. If I'm not there during the day, it's because I'm out and about in the world. But Wilbur, the bluebirds, they're there. We don't let them come out to this icky old place. So come. Love, Pastor Deborah, and the Father himself of Agape Love, the King of the kingdom of the Garden of Eden. Love. Don't forget, check the website, www.agapeloveishere.org, the YouTube channel called The Hidden Kingdoms. I'm going to be doing something with some podcasts, switching things around. Might start another one. Audiobooks, more teaching. So be encouraged, have hope, because things are not hopeless. Love you forever, Pastor Deborah.